Hello, my name is Xavier and I am a George Michael listener since February '83. Since that time, I have always been interested by his music and I always tried to understand how he was composing such great melodies. That is why I wrote, a decade ago, a book about the genesis of each song that George Michael produced and composed. But George has also sung with many other artists. He gave his contribution to many duets during his career since Wham became successful. Today I'm going to do the top 10 of the best duets with George Michael that has been released on CD or on DVD. I'm sorry, but I haven't included a few ones that have never been recorded properly, like the duet with Beyoncé or the duet with Garth Brooks. For the ranking, I first took in consideration the charts, the sales, and the views on YouTube for each song. I also considered the quality of the interpretation of both singers, so I rejected a couple songs that were not sounding good enough. So let's start with number 10, Desafinado, a duet with Astro Gilberto. That is a funny and yet very tender duet. Funny because George is singing in Portuguese, the language from Brazil, the country of his lover Anselmo Felipe. Very tender because George is giving a very smooth vocal. It has been released first in late 1996 on the benefit album Red Hot and Bossa, and it has been later included to the older EP. Desafinado is also part of the compilation Ladies and Gentlemen. Number 9, Every Time You Go Away, a duet with Paul Young. That song has been recorded during the Prince Charles Trust, a charity concert from 1986. Elton John was on the piano and George came on stage to sing with Paul Young, who was at the time as successful as Wham. The two singers had already performed together another cover taken from the Motown catalog, I Can't Help Myself. Number 8, Waltz Away Dreaming. At the beginning, that song has been written by Toby Burke, who was the first artist signing on AGN Records, George's new label. Toby was recording that song when George's mother passed away in 1997. The need for a musical tribute was important and expected by many fans, but George was so devastated that he could not write anything. He only had the idea to complete and to sing some new verses for Waltz Away Dreaming, and this is how the duet came to life. Even if the song was lovely and very touching, it did not work on the charts, and many people discovered it just on the Ladies and Gentlemen DVD. Number 7, These Are the Days of Our Lives. I must say that I haven't ranked in this top Somebody to Love performed by George and Queen, because I do not feel that this performance is a duet. It is more a collaboration between an artist and a band. Yet, for the same concert, they also played These Are the Days of Our Lives, one of the last songs Freddie Mercury wrote, and that cover was really a duet because George's vocals were seconded by Lisa Stansfield. Number 6, This Is Not Real Love. In 2006, to celebrate his 25 years of his career, George Michael was planning to release a compilation of all his duets and to include a couple new ones. It is at that time and for that purpose that he recorded with Paul McCartney a second version of Heal the Pain. He has also composed a new song called This Is Not Real Love, but George's first wish was to sing it with the English soul singer Shadi, who declined. Mucha Buena, who was recording her album with John Douglas, one of George's producers, was then chosen. It is also said that This Is Not Real Love would later have been recorded again as a duet, but this time with another man. Finally, the duet album has been cancelled, and George released a new compilation included all his hits since the days of Wham, as well as the new materials. Number 5, Love Is in Need of Love Today with Stevie Wonder. George did 2 live performances as a duet with Stevie. Leaving for the City, and Love is in Need of Love Today, which was the first one and the only one that has been released until now. It was part of the American TV show Motown Returns to the Apollo, which has been recorded in 1985 and that was available on DVD. George covered that song later many times from 1987 to 1993, and he also included it as a B-side of the Father Figure single. Number 4. If I Told You That. Whitney Houston was about to release her greatest hit album, and it has to contain an unreleased track that was planning first to be a duet with Michael Jackson, but he declined. George was a second choice, and he accepted to sing with Whitney If I Told You That. The two singers at the same age. They almost started their career at the same time, and they got very famous at the same period. It is for that reason that George has been very affected when he learned the death of Whitney in 2012. It is for her, as well for Amy Winehouse, that he wrote the verse of the song White Light. Number 3. As. When George left Sony in 1995, he had to deliver to the company a couple new tracks for the need of a compilation that was already planned. Outside was the first track that he recorded for that project, and he decided to include as well a cover and to make it as a duet. Actually, Lauryn Hill, who was very popular at the time, was George's first choice, but again it has been declined. Fortunately, Mary J. Blige, who was collaborating with Elton John, accepted, and that Stevie Wonder cover became a big hit, one of the most memorable duets that George ever recorded. Number 2. I Knew You Were Waiting for Me. In 1986, George, who was still member of Wham, had the wish to sing with major artists he had admired like Stevie Wonder or Aretha Franklin. Thanks to his manager, his dream came true, and he recorded with the Queen of Soul a pop song called I Knew You Were Waiting for Me. The single has been released early in 1987, 6 months after Wham's final concert and 6 months before the release of I Want Your Sex. It has been a huge hit, mostly in England, but it also helped George Michael to be known as a solo artist in America. And again, number 1 for this top, Don't Let the Sun Go Down on Me. George and Elton had many opportunities to sing together. Their first collaboration was back in 1985 for the album Ice and Fire. George did many vocals on 2 songs, Nikita and Wrap Her Up. Later, the pair performed together on the Live Aid, a first version of Don't Let the Sun Go Down on Me. But without any doubt, the greatest version they did of that song was in 1991 for one of George's concerts in London. They decided to make it as a single to raise funds for the fight against AIDS, and Don't Let the Sun peak at the number 1 in England, as well as many other countries. That is the reason why that duet remained in George Michael's career the most popular one. Thank you very much for watching that video. I hope you appreciate it, and as always, all your comments are welcome. Please subscribe to the channel if you do not want to miss the next top 10, and check the description below if you are interested about the book I wrote about the genesis of each song written and composed by George Michael. Until next time.